Hey everyone, your girl Nadine is black. I am black. I'm black. Your girl Nadine is black, and I'm back, right? For Award Tour Talks. I'm sitting here with one of the vendors on the last day of Black Week here at WPP. I'm sitting here with Aisha Dixon and Jessica Spaulding, co-owners of Harlem Chocolate Factory. Ladies, welcome to the show. Thank you for so much for just stopping in and having a few words. You guys own the Harlem Chocolate Factory. This is the first ever chocolate factory, like brick and mortar in Harlem. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do have to give them the mic, right?
Yes, it is. It is it's the first brick and mortar chocolate factory in Harlem.
Now, I'd love to know what made you come up with the idea of creating the chocolate factory and incorporating it into Harlem's culture.
Well, I actually was approached by Jessica. She is a lifelong Harlem resident and also has been working with chocolate since the age of 9. And she called me one day, like, I have this really great idea about making chocolate. Come over to the living room and let me show you what I got. And she had cutouts and prototypes and a whole spread. And I actually was really amazed about the thought and the detail that went in it. And, with already knowing her for years before that, because we went to undergrad together at Spelman College, I just really was amazed at the artistry and have always known Jessica to be an artist and just felt like this was another extension, of her creativity. So, she was like, people gift chocolate. Like, that's what they do. You work with hospitality and gifted. Like, come on, let's do this together. And it just blossomed from there.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just been such an amazing journey.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Jessica, why chocolate? What made you love chocolate and say, I can make a business with this?
So why chocolate is because I grew up not being able to eat sugar. And so I started working with candy, confections, and stuff like that to just try to eat sugar. And going back to like why Harlem, right? Like growing up in Harlem, and being a part of the culture, I realized that in eating chocolate at the same time, you see chocolate from around the world and I never felt like I saw a perspective that reflected mine, right? Like I could go to the Italian chocolate shops, I could go to the Japanese, I could go to the French, I could go to the Swiss,
Right.
and there's all this kind of Eurocentric ideal around it, right? Like this idea that the best chocolate on this earth comes from these European countries,
Right.
but 80% of the chocolate on this earth comes from Africa.
Wow.
And there is a missing black perspective. Now, I can't speak for every black experience, but when I see how centralized Harlem is into the global network of the black diaspora, I realize I'm like, I could just talk about Harlem, right? Like
Right.
that's where I was born and raised. That's in the fabric of who I am as a person, and that's the perspective we're going to come up from in the chocolate, and hopefully be able to expand it to this global kind of conversation around black culture.
Right, right. Now, how did you guys hear about Black Week? Like, what got you here? You
So
wanna?
we have a long-term relationship, with Idlewild and have worked with them in other activations through Harlem and other throughout New York. And so their team actually reached out to us and just said, "Hey, you guys have been a premier partner with us throughout other things we're doing, and we got this opportunity to showcase some brands during Black Week, and we immediately thought of you." And so that's how we found out about Black Week. And
Wow.
that blossomed into us being at the conference all week, which has been absolutely amazing. We really, really enjoyed, all of the sessions that we attended, and excited to, end it with today and this experience as well.
Yeah, it's just it's been like a for me. I've been in advertising for a while. It's like an advertising Black homecoming.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, I've seen people I hadn't seen in a while. I've seen people I work with for years. And it's just like, oh my goodness, this is something I've been wanting for so long. And here it's here now.
It's so refreshing. It's
And
so
then what's your takeaway from Black Week? You attended it. Like, what was
Yeah.
your takeaway?
I think for myself, so my life, like professionally, has been in food marketing, and I didn't know it, right? Like I worked for Red Bull, I worked for Sodexo, I worked for Aramark, and in the food marketing, but really in the experiential part of it. And a lot of times, there have been things that I've been doing along the way with this brand where people are like, yo, what agency did you go with? No, nothing. I'm like, nah, I came up with all this stuff myself. Like,
Wow.
how did you think of how this looks, how it reads, how it tells a story, how it does, like, everyone's always like, the branding is so good. And I think seeing that room full of people who work professionally in this area, and growing up, I didn't even know that this was a profession. I didn't know marketing was a profession. I didn't know that this was something that I could have been doing. It's by God's blessing that I'm here and able to do it anyway. And I just see that space as a space where I'm happy for where we're going, right? Like, I think there's so much power in us coming together in that way. And I think of the people coming after us that could potentially be guided toward this room, and now having something that I can direct them towards. Like, yo, you're in marketing, like, and it's so exciting, and I feel so refreshed, and I don't feel crazy anymore.
Yeah.
And now having more of a network of marketers that I can be like, yo, help me out. I think sometimes we get into the room and we can kind of be used as a tool or a show pony, but knowing now there are people that we can now bring with us and, like, to cover us in that way makes me feel a lot more confident about where we could be in the future.
Right. From what I'm hearing, it seems like your life was preparing you for this moment to open this chocolate factory. Since you worked for all those brands,
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't even know it was
I didn't-
coming.
yeah.
You didn't know the
I
path was
having
already
fun.
set.
I didn't. I was having fun. And,
That's usually like
you
when you
know,
find your calling, when you're having a good time, right?
yeah.
Because I'm having a good time talking to both of you. So I'm hearing something really great about the chocolate factory opening at one of our airports. Let's talk about it. Who wants to take it?
Breadcrumb. So yes, we are very excited to go into a new venture inside of JFK, and we have just, I don't even know the words to feel like at this stage of how long it's been to even get here to this point. It's definitely been years in the making, and we're really just excited about not only the opportunity for ourselves, but the opportunity for others, so that others can see this can be done.
Right.
And also so that we can help to mentor others who want to do it as well. And sometimes these kind of things seem so off-putting or are so big, they seem like they're not for us.
Right.
And I think people seeing Harlem Chocolate Factory in this space will be like, oh, I remember them from that pop-up.
Right.
And look at where they're at now. So, it's definitely a segue to show what can be done when you're persistent, when you stick with something, and when you have a really great product and a great brand.
Right. And it is amazing. I mean, one thing I want to say is, like, of course, like, for you, you're setting history, first of all. You have again, I don't know of any Black-owned chocolate
There's not many.
stores, I don't know of any in New York. You're the first one I've heard of. So, and then when you do think about chocolate, any type of store, it is like usually Italian or, some like specific shop. It's on Fifth Avenue. It's all fancy. You're like, I think I might want to buy something for somebody one day, but you never go in. But this is different, like Black owned, is you feel safe, like, oh, I'm gonna go in here. I know I could get something that can relate to someone I know in my family, How hard was it for you guys, or was it even hard to start, raising the funding to open the brick and mortar part? Okay, I could say.
That might be a different podcast episode.
I might have to bring you back, right? To answer and get a full-on interview, because I really just wanted to touch base with you guys, being here at Blackweek, wanting to know how you guys felt about it, but we'll bring them back. But Jessica, Aisha, I want to thank you so much for coming onto the show. You guys, they are in Harlem. Tell them where you're located in Harlem.
We're located at 2363 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard between 138th and 139th Street, right by Strivers Row. Uh, yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
I had to bring you guys back on the show. Any like last words that you want to say about Black Week before I let you get back to your vending?
Yeah, I think that sometimes people can run from the terminology black, right? It feels off-putting. It feels segregated, and I want us to really empower ourselves because the solution to a lot of our problems are community. We are a communal-based business, and these industries have a way of telling us that the only way forward is as the individual, and that is not true. If we want real change and we want to affect real change and we want to be affected by that change, we have to do it as a community. It's the only way. And we down ourselves. I hate when black people do that to ourselves.
Right.
We always trying to save nobody. No, we are communal.
Right.
And it is the gift, it is the innate joy of who we are to think like that, and we will not be punished for that. And there is no sacrifice in being communal. And so a space like this that urges community, that builds community, I urge people to keep in contact, to not feel like they need to showboat or show up or,
Right.
start doing these things. So, because we plan on doing that. I plan on calling everybody I met. So answer the phone because I ain't going to stop,
Believe me, you don't want it with her. Aisha, your takeaway?
Yes, I feel like Black Week is a relief. A lot of times coming from corporate America and coming from your corporate jobs, there's so many intricate, politics, just going into the office, just being who you are in your daily ins and out of your 9 to 5. And so, this week is truly a reprieve to almost, be yourself.
Right.
No code switching.
Nope.
It's like I'm just here. I'm me. I'm learning. I met you.
Yep.
Exactly. So that in itself, and you use the word I think perfectly. As a HBCU alum from Spelman College, homecoming.
Right.
This is like a homecoming. It's so relaxing. It's so comforting. It's so welcoming.
Right.
And so I'm really looking forward to next year.
Me too.
More bigger and better every year, getting better.
Yeah.
Just everything that was involved in this week.
Yeah.
And so I'm truly grateful that we were invited and grateful that we got to experience everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much to the both of you for coming on the show. Guys, again, you guys could go to Harlem and just buy some chocolate, gift it. People love chocolate. And you're supporting your own community, so check them out in Harlem.